Hello again. I know it's been a really long time, but school is out and the musical I was in is over now, and this is actually my shirt for it, my Mamma Mia shirt, which is nice. Um, so yeah, that was a lot of fun. I don't even remember if I told you about the musical because I know it's been a while and I have no idea anymore. But I was in a musical. I was in the Greek chorus. It was a lot of fun. Um, can't wait till school starts so I can do theater again. And also because I'm excited for school because I'm weird that way. Um, so also I got braces because like if you haven't noticed yet, I got braces. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna do something a little different today. Oh, I think is my cat in here? Because if so, I want to introduce him to my cat. I'm not sure. He's not. No, that's right. He's outside because it's warm out and he likes it outside. Um, so yeah, I'm going to do something a little different today. I am going to talk about musicals. And I'm maybe going to do a little bit of singing, but it's not going to be about singing. I'm not going to sing any particular song. I'm just going to talk about specifically Hadestown. So, who is the protagonist of Hadestown? I feel like this is a debate that could really be had. It's there to be had. But I don't think people really do because, it's obviously like, yes, who is the protagonist? Obviously it's Orpheus, right? But I don't think it is. So first off, there's the whole thing in musicals. There's this I Want song, thing called an I Want song. And, Orpheus doesn't really have one. If you don't know what an I Want song is, it's like, I Need to Know in Jekyll and Hyde, or, basically every Disney princess belting song ever, so, Part of Your World from Little Mermaid, or Belle from Beauty and the Beast, or, those songs. It's that one thing where they're like, I want this thing and I don't have it, and this is why I want it, so I'm gonna try and get it. And it kind of forms the basis for the conflict in the show as well. In this show, you would expect the protagonist to have an I Want song. But, I'll give you a little bit, let me know if you think Orpheus does have one of these. Please let me know. I would love to know. I absolutely want to know because, theater's a discussion. It's got, a formula, but it doesn't have, it's still it's not objective. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not objective. There's a lot of things that you can, there's different perspectives, different areas of expertise people may have that can kind of help you see different areas of it and can help with, adaptations of thoughts. So, please let me know if you think he has an I Want song, because I would love to know what you think, but, I don't think he does. I'm sure a lot of people would automatically think Come Home With Me would be his, but, just think about it. What is it he wants? He wants to be with Eurydice, and going up and Come Home With Me, he's already getting what he wants. If anything, his I Want song would be that little, 30 seconds of dialogue he has with Hermes right before. His name is Hermes, right? I'm pretty sure his name is Hermes. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. No, I'm right. For some reason, it just didn't seem right to me. But, no, Hermes, that little discussion he has, you want to talk to her? Yeah, go on. That whole thing. That, I guess, could be, it's not, though. He doesn't have an I Want song, as far as I can tell. So, this isn't going to be a huge shocker, because if it's not Orpheus, obviously I'm going to say it's Eurydice, because who else is going to be the protagonist? Persephone, Hermes, the Fates. No. I believe it's Eurydice. She has Any Way the Wind Blows, which is all about how she wants things to be better, and she wants as much things as she can get. She wants basic human needs, which obviously she does need, but, she wants them. You could argue that she has her basic human needs, considering the fact that she's still alive, so really she just wants a better life. She wants the weather to not suck and people to not suck. She basically just wants life to, like, not suck, and she's fine. So, yeah. And so then building off of that, too, there's, like, the concept in musicals of, like, want versus need. She wants, like, all of this stuff, but what she finds out that she needs is love. And, like, in Promises, she kind of goes against it, like, wedding song into Promises, you know. And I guess you could really say the titles of those two are very similar, too, like, wedding versus promises. Like, a wedding is just a really huge promise, if you really think about it. So it's just kind of, rather than her needing a huge wedding, she just needs these promises, these few little things that she wants from Orpheus. She just wants, like, bread when she's hungry, fire when she's cold, a steady hand to hold. She doesn't need, like, all of this stuff. She just wants to be with the person she cares about, you know? It's really sweet. So, like, you know, there's that journey of want versus need. And obviously she does need basic human needs, like, it's kind of in the name. But, like, she doesn't need anything more than that. She just needs to be with Orpheus. Now let's look at Orpheus' journey throughout. Starts off, he wants to be with Eurydice. What does he get at the end? He needs to be with Eurydice. I mean, he doesn't change. He's a static character. He doesn't really change at all. Well, he does change, but not in that way. And that's not to say other characters in musicals can't change. I mean, like, in Phantom, both Christine and the Phantom, like, Christine learns that he needs his pity, and the Phantom learns that he can't hold, you know, his love there and expect her to care about him. You know, he learns how to be a decent human being and not murder people and, you know, control by manipulation and stuff. But, you know, I really like Phantom, and I do intend to talk about that in a video, but it's also going to be very long, and I don't have all my thoughts sorted out yet, so I will get there, but I'm not there yet. Right now, I'm just talking about Hadestown. So yeah, and the other thing that's not really so much, like, this means that she must be the protagonist, but I'd like to point it out because it doesn't mean necessarily that, like, he can't be the protagonist, but it is kind of an interesting to point out. The Act 1 closer. If you've only listened to the album, you probably expect it to be, like, Wait for Me, because it's like every Act 1 closer ever, and it makes sense. But it's not. It's Why Do We Build the Wall? And I remember hearing about a year ago when I was really, really heavy into Hadestown, I remember hearing that the reasoning for this is because, well, this is when Eurydice, not Orpheus, changes. This is when she goes from normal life to basically death. It's not, you know, dead to the world anyway, but, you know, no, she goes from her normal life with Orpheus to her Hadestown life, and that's where this change occurs, and that's why the break in Act 2 is right there, because she goes to the door, she's convinced, she signs the papers, and then we start with Our Lady of the Underground, and now she comes out, and she's already signed the papers and all that, you know, but that's in contrast to why wouldn't it be after Wait for Me for the protagonist, assuming he is the protagonist? Why would it be after the change in our love interest? That doesn't make sense. We have a perfect Act 1 closer. We have our protagonist, you know, going on this big journey. You know, I figure, but he's not the protagonist. She is. So, like, so naturally it goes after her life changes, not his. So that's my musical theater logic, though. But this isn't just a musical. At least I don't think it is. I think this is also a tragedy. Because, you know, it's based on a tragedy, and I figure it's at least worth a little look. I remember right when I was starting to think this, I noticed at one point, I had just heard about I Want songs, because, like, the thing that sparks these thoughts in me is, like, the videos by channels like Sideways, especially Sideways. I love that channel. It's the best. he, like, kind of dissects music. He talks about, like, issues with music or just, like, ways to learn it. And, like, he has a video on ear training / sight singing, and he's got a video on, like, why music in stuff like Cats and Les Mis, just every Tom Hooper movie musical ever, why it doesn't work. You know, he's got a bunch of videos like that, and it really gets you thinking about other things that it could be applied to, that his thoughts, like leitmotifs, he's really big on leitmotifs, and he, you know, this kind of thing, it really sticks with you. And, you know, with I Want songs, I was just, I don't know, I must have watched a video where he mentioned them, and I think I already knew they were a thing, but I was just like, I wonder what it is in Hadestown, and then I realized, wait, Eurydice has that, doesn't she? And right about then, we started reading Romeo and Juliet in my English class, so we, you know, we were learning about how tragedies work, and, like, how Shakespeare works and all that. And so there was just one thing especially that really stuck with me about tragedies, and that is the tragic hero's fatal flaw. Let's look for a fatal flaw, shall we? So a fatal flaw is, like, the tragic hero is generally a good person so that you can root for them, but they have this fatal flaw that ultimately brings them down. And it is generally established at the beginning. Obviously, the fatal flaw in the original story is how Orpheus doesn't trust her enough that she's coming, because, you know, he turns around and she's basically not a character. She's just like, you know, she's like a Disney prince. Switch her out for a plank of wood and you're fine. Like, honestly, she doesn't matter all that much in the original, but in this one she does have a character, and they really flesh her out, and I think she's a great character. But Orpheus doesn't have this fatal flaw. Not in the musical. In the musical, what Orpheus has is, he has, you know, let's look at how he starts off. He is very trusting of everyone. He is more naive than me, and for anybody who knows me, like, at least a little bit, you know that's saying quite a lot. Because I'm typically pretty trusting and all that, and I'm, you know, he is very naive. He does not know how the world works, you know. He wore his heart out on his sleeve. You might say he was naive to the ways of the world. And but near the end, he still turns around because he doesn't trust her. He wouldn't have done that at the beginning. It's that "Is it true?" was probably about when he realizes, like, is this how the world is? To be beaten and betrayed and then be told that nothing changes. It'll always be like this if it's true what they say. You know, that's when he's, like, starting to realize that maybe the world does kind of suck sometimes. Because it does sometimes. There are bad times, and that sucks. And, you know, but at the beginning, he's kind of unaware of it all. He's very, like, just, and he wouldn't have turned around. Whereas at the end, he does turn around. It's not his fatal flaw because it's not there at the beginning. He's just a good guy, you know. He's not really this. He's not like how he is at the end. Now let's look at Eurydice. But I know what you're saying. He's the one who turns around. I'm turning into such a YouTuber already. It's crazy. I know what you're thinking. Like, he's the one who turns around. How could she possibly be at fault? Because her fatal flaw pays off in the first act. It's not at the end. It's sneaky. It's really, really, really well done. I love it. But, like, I love this show. I love how sneaky they are here. And I also love that the person who wrote this had, like, no musical theater experience before this, which is, like, just amazing. But anyway, Mom came in. Anyway, yeah. So I had to pause it for a moment. What was I saying? Oh, great. Mine was, Eurydice's fatal flaw. Pays off in Act 1, that's it. That's where I was. Great, I know where I was now. Sorry. So, like, her want is also her flaw. She's a generally good person that we want to root for. But she has this flaw. She has the flaw of wanting things. And emotion isn't enough because people aren't good enough. They don't stick around that much. They're fickle. They don't... Everybody is a fair weather friend, huh? It's... So, I mean, she doesn't think that she cares enough about Orpheus. And also, I think, personally, based on my thoughts about the character, but this might not be how other people think of her, but this is just based on my current analysis of her, I believe that she also thought Orpheus had kind of abandoned her. Like, in chant, she's like, Orpheus, Orpheus, shelter us, harbor me, and he doesn't come. And so she's like feeling really, really lost and stuck here. She stayed for him and he's not coming for her. He's just like working on his song. He's not coming for her. He's not helping her. And so then like and I feel like she kind of I think during Hey Little Songbird, Hades kind of realizes that like she's kind of having her doubts right now, and she still wants these things. He's just preying right on her want. She wants these things. She's kind of doubting her love right now because like she's used to people not trusting her, and he didn't come for her. He didn't come when she called him. He's not a her. He didn't come when she called him. So, how does she know that he'll actually be there for her if she needs him? There's so many pronouns right now. And so, like, she should just go, because then she'll have a decent life, And it's in Flowers that she realizes that's not the case. And that's really also very genius. I'm going to get to that. But, she doesn't have, like, all these things, and she wants them. And so she goes to Hadestown where she thinks she can get them. And that is where her fatal flaw kicks in. If she had never gone to Hadestown, then Orpheus never would have gone to Hadestown, and he never would have... Well, he probably would have eventually, but he wouldn't have learned right now how the world is, and he wouldn't have turned around because... Well, for one thing, she never would have been there in the first place for him to turn around, but he also wouldn't have felt that way about her, and he would have just trusted her enough to be behind him. So ultimately, it's because of her decision that comes from her fatal flaw that, that the entire story happens, and that he's develops into him. Because, see, yes, she does change, but she doesn't change until Act 2, after she's already in Hadestown, because as we've already established, that is the turning point. The intermission is the turning point, and Act 2 is when she changes. She doesn't change in Act 1. I mean, she does change a little bit, like, with All I've Ever Known and all of that, but, like, she mostly just, she still has the same want. She hasn't realized yet that what she needs is her love, so she has to learn that still. And so, then it all kind of just develops that way, and then he develops his flaw because of it, and it's really, really well done, because, her want, her fatal flaw are the same, and then her development happens afterward, and it's all really, really cool and well done. And I feel like there was something else I was going to say, but I've already forgotten because it's not something that I've been over in my head before, and I don't know. But, yeah, I really think this musical is well done. I mean, I was going to say something about Flowers. That's what I was going to say. I was going to say something about Flowers, how that's when she realizes that, oh, right. So, like, what I was saying about her character, I just want to mention this, like how I think she kind of feels like she's been abandoned. She realizes that all of a sudden she is this, like, as she put it, fair weather friend in Flowers. She realizes, I think, like, when she gets, like, flowers, I remember feeling soft, Flowers soft beneath my heels, walking in the sun. She's remembering like all of the nature, and then like I remember someone, like falter like someone by my side, like he was there for me, and I'm the one who left. Turned his face to mine, and then I turned away. Like, why did I do that? Why did I leave him? He was there for me, and that's when her character development begins. Flowers, if it's true, like they're the point of their changes, and they're both caused by her fatal flaw, which is just, it's, oh my goodness, this show is really well done. It's awesome. I know I've said that so many times, but like, I don't know how much of this was actually intentional, but like, it's just what I found, you know, with musicals, you never know it's intentional or not, but you give meaning to it anyway, even if it wasn't intentional. It is now because you found how it fits. So, in my opinion, this is how this works. Let me know your thoughts, I guess. I've never called for people to, like, comment or like or anything, but just comment, please, because I want to know your thoughts. It's not because I care about anything. I just want to know what you think. Like, do you agree with me or not? I'm just curious, you know? Like, do you think I have valid opinions here, valid analysis, any criticisms of my analysis? What do you think? I really want to know, because this helps my thoughts in the future, because now if I get feedback now, I can know what I can think about more in the future, you know? It's all really great. I love theater. Anyway, this is a 20-minute video now. That's the longest one altogether so far. Got a little bit of singing at the end, so, you know, I can still not feel bad that this is in a channel called Julia Sings. Anyway, goodbye, I guess, because that's pretty much all I had. I rambled so much in that.